script to the answer 52 and a very short supplementary. Put it in the record.
From the most recent figures available, the strength of the PDF is currently 9,219 personnel, or 97% of the establishment of 9,500 personnel. To return to and maintain the agreed strength levels, significant target recruitment has taken place in 2017, which resulted to date in 702 personnel being inducted, comprising of general service recruits, cadets, specialists for the Army, Air Corps and Naval Service. Similar recruitment campaigns are being planned for 2018. As I have previously outlined, there are particular challenges with vacancies in certain specialist posts, such as pilots, air traffic controllers and certain technicians. These specialists can prove difficult to retain, whereas in the current economic circumstances there are ongoing private sector and commercial semi-state sector job opportunities. The number of officers as of the 31st of October 2017 is 1,056 out of an establishment of 1,233. The number of cadets in training has substantially increased recently, with 100 cadets having been recruited in each of the years 16 and 17. Approximately 70 Army cadets will be commissioned in January 18. To address these difficulties, a range of recruitment methods are being employed, including direct entry competitions for specialist positions. I have directed civil and military management to develop proposals for expanding such direct entry recruitment and specialists, and a scheme to facilitate former members of the PDF with appropriate skill sets to re-enter the Defence Forces. The Public Service Pay Commission will further examine the issues of retention of specialist personnel in accordance with the provisions of the Public Service Stability Agreement 2018-2020. In tandem with these actions, my department is also engaging in planning on a longer-term basis projects arising from the White Paper on Defence around topics such as medium-term manpower planning, and encouraging a wide pool of as possible for recruitment are already underway. Further projects scheduled to begin in the new year will be to address issues such as age profiles and the gap analysis of skill sets within the PDF. The gap analysis will help to identify the frequency of such gaps and identify appropriate measures to address them.
Thanks, Glascan. You're kind to allow me to come in. Yeah, but isn't the other side of it, Minister, of the very poor pay and conditions, is that there are huge gaps, in fact, in the even the establishment figure of the Defence Forces. For example, you've told me recently there are just 7 crews to man 8 ships in the Naval Service. The bomb disposal unit, its workload has doubled, and yet there are major gaps in that unit. The most serious of all, I suppose, in the Air Corps, you told me, I think a few months ago, that there were 132 vacancies from the establishment, and we saw the serious impact of that, in fact, in March of 2017, in relation to the tragedy off the Mayo Coast, when the Air Corps plane wasn't able to be brought into use. So across the Defence Forces there are clearly major gaps. My own belief, I voted against PESCO as well, Minister, but I do believe that a neutral country, which is strongly neutral, that we should have an effective Defence Force, well paid, well looked after and available to serve the nation. So I'd ask you, Minister, to address these huge, serious gaps in the current force. Thanks, Cain.
Let me state, first of all, Deputy, that the establishment strength and numbers of ships in the Naval Service haven't changed in decades. You brought up the issue of the Coast Guard. I actually would, you should actually check the Irish Coast Guard are responsible and for Coast Guard activities, and that we assist on an available basis.
But the Air Corps requested the assistance. The Coast Guard requested the assistance. Sorry, in that case.
That's on an available basis only.